Good morning. Happy Monday. We got work to do. Welcome in. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're off to a good start to the week. Thanks for sharing some time with me. We're going to ship out all the orders from the weekend from the last 48 hours. We got not many sales. We won't be live for very long. It was a slow weekend. I actually have less to ship today from the last 2 days than I had to ship on Saturday just from 24 hours. But the ups and downs of the business, you can't get too high, you can't get too low. You just got to keep moving your feet. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Welcome in, say hello if you're just jumping into the chat. Love to hear from you. Love to hear about your weekend. Love to hear about your sales. Love to answer your questions about reselling too. So we got orders on eBay, Poshmark, and chrisatpeak.com that we're going to ship out this morning. So we'll get right into that. I got to print out my shipping labels here. Good morning, Kevin. What's up from Lakeland? Lakeland is in the house. Kevin, always appreciate having you here in the live. Let's print shipping labels. Print. So eBay and Poshmark, very, very, very slow weekend. But that's okay because if you zoom out a little bit, my week was awesome. I had a great week of sales. So it's kind of surprising that I kind of just like dive bombed the last 2 days. But yeah, great. So zooming out, great week of sales, great month of sales too. It's actually on pace to be my best month of sales since May, which is pretty typical how I see things. I get a peak in the spring, like March, April, May, kind of gets bigger and bigger, all the way up to May is the peak. Then it drops off for the summertime, and then it starts picking back up September, October, and then November is the next peak. Usually I do better in November than in December, but that's because sales really stop or really, really slow down around December 17th or December 18th. So you kind of like chopping off almost half the month because people figure they can't get stuff in time for Christmas, whatever. Then they're vacationing or spending time with family and they're distracted and not shopping as much. Good morning. Slow weekend for me also. Poshmark first. You got it. Thank you. Sophia, taking the reins, telling me what to do. So we'll ship Poshmark first. 2 orders on Poshmark. So that'll be nice and quick. I got a couple of things for you today in this live too that I want to let you know about. In honor of Black Friday, we're doing 10% off all of our coffee. So 10% off all coffee and merch. So if you want to get one of these thrifting is my cardio haul bags, everything's going to be 10% off. You just got to use discount code NOV10. I'm going to drop it in the chat, but I'm going to do you one better. All you got to do is type down below in the chat if you're on if you're on Facebook or Instagram, just type down below the good stuff in the chat, and I'm going to send you a direct link to my coffee site, and that'll have the discount code in there for you too that you just enter at checkout. So just comment the good stuff. But when you also comment the good stuff, I'm going to send you one other awesome thing too. I put together a list of reseller supplies, our favorite reseller supplies that happen to be on Black Friday deals. So I put together a list for you. So if you comment the good stuff down below in the chat, again, only on Facebook and Instagram, I'm going to send you a direct link to that as well. So just comment that down below. If you're interested in coffee or if you're interested in some Black Friday deals for resellers, just comment the good stuff and I'll send you a DM with all that. What's up, Francis? How are you? Chemo is in the house. Welcome in, Chemo. If you haven't said hello down below in the chat, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how your weekend sales were. I hope they were better than mine. I had a really slow weekend. Saturday, I shipped out I think I shipped out 12 or 13 items on Saturday morning, and then I'll have less than that going out from the last 2 days. Go figure. That's the ups and downs of the business. But welcome in, everybody. Hope you are doing well. All right. First up is an order. This is an old. So I sold a lot of old stuff. I didn't sell much, but the stuff I sold was stuff that sat in inventory for a long time. I had this for a couple of years. It's actually a nice jacket. It's a Marmot, which is a solid brand. I typically do better with their jackets. But this is a soft shell, women's size small jacket sold on Poshmark for $30. Not sure why that one hung around for a couple of years, to be honest with you. It's a nice jacket, really high quality, but sometimes that's how things go. Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Good to have you in here. Who do we got? Kathy, what's up? Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Crazy this Thanksgiving week, Black Friday week. And I'll put that, I'm going to put the direct link to my coffee website down below for the folks who are on YouTube. So we'll put that. If you're interested in getting that 10% off coffee, just enter, and it's 10% off all coffee and merch. Just use discount code NOV10, and you'll get 10% off your full order at chrisatpeak.com. That's coffee and merch. And I put that right down there in the chat for you. And also, if you just comment the good stuff, I'll send you a direct link with that code right to your inbox. I'll also send you some of my favorite Black Friday deals for resellers. Some of our favorite stuff just happens to be on sale for Black Friday. So I'll send you those deals. Just comment the good stuff down below. It'll automatically hit your inbox. It won't work on YouTube though, sorry. All right, so Marmot is going to Leanne. She's in Milton, Florida, getting ready for a long, cold winter in Florida with the soft shell jacket. Pretty funny. I paid $7 for this at a thrift store. It was a couple years ago. Did I put in her thank you card? I did not. Slow for me as well. Some older stuff. Isn't that weird? Yeah, like crazy old stuff, like a lot of it. This was a couple years. It was like one of those sales that came in. I'm like, man, I still have that thing. Some of this, a couple of the old ones are actually bad buys. I don't feel like this is a bad buy, but some of them are objectively bad buys on my part. But bad buys are the best teacher. Mistakes are the best teacher. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We won't be live very long. I just don't have that much to ship. No orders on Mercari, no orders on Amazon. But I'm not complaining. I got a quote for you, too, that hit me over the weekend. Somehow I stumbled across this quote, and I was like, I'm going to share that with people on Monday. So this is a quote from Barbara Corcoran, I think is her name. That's one of the people that was on the Shark Tank, that woman, and a smart business person. She says, the difference between successful people and others is how long they spend time feeling sorry for themselves. It's kind of interesting. So slow weekend. There's no time for me to feel sorry for myself. Just got to bounce back, keep doing what I'm doing, and it'll be busy again. And again, it was a great week. It's been a great month, but a bad couple of days of sales objectively. All right, so one out the door. My profit on that item, remember, Poshmark charges 20% fee. So my Poshmark's going to take $6 from that $30 sale. That's going to leave me with $24. I spent $7 on that at the thrift store. So I'm going to make $17 profit on that soft shell jacket. Just took a little while to sell. That's all. T. Georgie, what's up, brother? You got that in your DMs, dude. Hello there from Pennsylvania. Welcome in. Jen is in the house. Velvet Shack is here. Travis with some coffee. You're due for some coffee, brother. I'd love to send you some coffee. I thought it was just me. Only 2 sales. Yeah. I mean, just remember, though, everybody, Vineyard, like, remember, anytime, and this happens in every single comment I make about sales, right? I did a post the other day about, like, I think I had my best, like, units sold day since May. And that was, like, what, Thursday or Friday? I mean, it was crazy. It was so busy. And then in the comments to that, inevitably, there's 50% of the comments say, I'm dead, I can't sell anything. And the other 50% are saying, I'm having record days too. So it's just the ups and downs of the business. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, it's just, there's no secrets to this thing. The secret is just to persevere and keep moving forward. But it's so funny. Anytime I make a post about, sales being busy or sales being slow, the comments are 50-50. Half the people are doing better than ever. The other half can't sell water to a well. What's up, Don? How are you? So it's just funny. There's no in between. It's always that way. Next up on Poshmark, really interesting sale. I bought a whole bunch of, like, a big box of records back when I lived in Florida. So I've been back in Asheville for 3 years now, and bought a whole bunch of records. Most of them sold like within like a couple of 3-4 months, right? But this one, and I still have a few that have just kind of sat around. I probably don't have them priced right, but this is a Frank Sinatra 2-disc set that finally sold. I was like, shoot, I still have that thing. So $14 on this 1958 Frank Sinatra Story in Music 2-disc set right here. So and I was like, man, I used to be a everything seller. So I was like, do I still have my old record boxes? And sure enough, I do. So I have all kinds of boxes and things out there for when I sold all kinds of different things. Now I'm like clothing focused, but that wasn't always the case. This was a garage. I probably picked up it might've been like 100 records. And I think I ended up paying, I think it was like 50 cents a record. So I paid like $50 and sold a lot of them really quickly. I lotted most of them up too, which helped them sell. So if I had like the same artist, if I had a few different ones from the same artist, I would lot them up. I lotted them up by genre after that. So if it was like, 70s rock or, 80s pop hits, right, I'd put those in lots and sell them. But this Frank Sinatra really didn't fit in with as like a genre lot either. So I just listed it by itself, and took over 3 years to sell. But whatever. It's not like this thing took up a lot of space in my inventory. It was actually in on my shelf. I have some, we have a shelf in our living room that's got, just different knickknacks and decorative things on it. And we have some records on there. And this was just sitting on that shelf with some other records. So it is what it is. It took a while to sell though. That's for sure. These boxes are great. There's probably somebody in the chat right now that's telling me that I'm not shipping these records the right way. And I know there's like a specific way that you ship these to record collectors, blah, blah, blah. I'm just not doing it. All right. This is going to, who is this going to? This is going to Kathy. Oh man, did I put the wrong thank you card in there? You've got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. I just taped it all up. What's up, Robbie? How are you? Welcome in. Doing well. Chris, visiting family on the East Coast. I find 22 pairs of Bird Dog pants, new without tags, 7 quarters at Bird Dogs, long sleeve, 12 cool pants, 1 Flint and Tinder pants. Wow, that's a heck of a haul right there. That's a heck of a haul. Big return for bad address. Sorry to hear about that, Vineyard. What does that mean, bad address? See if I can fish this thank you card out of here. Nothing worse than getting a thank you card with someone else's name on it. I did. I put the wrong card in there. Could have put the right one in. I'm out of it. Bobby is in the house. What do we got here? Patty, what's up? Thanks to you. I started doing more clothes. Just sold my first men's jacket suit supply. Havana patch. Got $60. Paid $7. Nice. I freaking love finding those suit supplies. Great mover. What's up, Smokey? Welcome in. Thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate you sharing a little bit of time with me while I just ship out orders. Otherwise, I'd just be talking to this wall here. And that would be weird. If you talk to your wall, that's cool. I'm not judging you. All right, 2 orders out. That's both of our Poshmark orders. So typically I average, in the month of November so far, I've been averaging 2.6 Poshmark sales per day, which would put me at, for 2 days, 2 days would be 5.2. So for me to only have 2 Poshmark sales instead of, the average, which would be like 5, is kind of, is not great, but it is what it is. It was still a great week. It was still a great month. So now we're moving on to eBay sales here. So our first, actually, before we do eBay, let's just get I want to get Carol's order out. So Carol got an order at chris@peak.com. She got our fall seasonal light roast. So 2 bags going out to Carol. She took advantage of that November 10, those NOV 10 discount code. If you want me to send you that discount code for 10% off all coffee and merch, all you have to do is type the good stuff down below in the chat. It won't work on YouTube. If you want the link, just let me know if you're on YouTube. But if you're on Instagram or Facebook, just type the good stuff down below in the chat. I'm going to send you a direct link to my coffee website, and I'll also send you that discount code that you can enter at checkout for 10% off. So Carol took advantage of that code. She got 2 bags for 10% off. Carol is a repeat customer. One thing, and this is, I don't really talk too much about like the behind the scenes of the coffee business. Maybe I should, but I can remember more than a year ago, there's a creator like a big business creator influencer who also has a coffee brand. And this reel I watched from him still sticks in my brain. He talked about he's like, look, I have to mention coffee all the time. I have to continue to market and talk about the coffee. It doesn't just sell itself. Even if a customer has bought coffee from me 6 or 8 times before, coffee is the type of product that you have to talk about over and over and over and over, because there's so much competition for coffee. People have so many different options. They could be, on their way home from work, they could stop at a local coffee shop. They could get some really great locally roasted coffee. They could get it at the grocery store. They can get it at Walgreens. They can get it at Walmart. They can get it off Amazon, right? And there's all kinds of other people who are advertising coffee on Instagram or Facebook, on TV or whatever. So it was kind of interesting. It was a really, really big creator. And he was like, if I'm not constantly marketing my coffee, sales just absolutely tank. So I was thinking about that a lot over the past week. And I'm like, I don't talk about the coffee enough. And it's as a business owner, I have a responsibility to love my business and share my love with my business. But really a lot of gratitude here for Carol. Carol is coming back for more. She used to order on a regular basis. I hadn't heard from her. Sent out an email over the weekend with a little 10% off deal, and Carol is back. So thanks, Carol, for taking advantage of the deal. Appreciate your repeat business. If you want to get yourself a bag of coffee, I can ship it out right here during the live. If you get your order in, just let me know if you get an order in, and I'll stop everything I'm doing and get your coffee order out with a big dose of gratitude, handwritten thank you note, all that stuff. If you have any questions about the coffee, let me know down below in the chat. It's all fair trade, it's all organic, and it's all roasted fresh every single week. So it is top shelf coffee. And thank you, Carol. So that's out the door. Jen, you got that DM with the discount code and the direct link to the website. It's in your DMs right now. Are you going to start Whatnot anytime? I don't have any short-term plans to for Whatnot. I love the platform. I love selling on it. I love buying on it, but I don't have any short-term plans to sell on Whatnot. I would just need a lot more inventory than what I'm finding on a regular basis lately. Okay, so let's move on to eBay. Again, slow weekend for eBay, but moving some old stuff. This is actually a really quick sale. These just got listed. Pair of Levi's 550s. I'm curious when these actually were listed. I feel like I just listed these. Nope, I lied. I list so many different 550s. These ones took 90 days to sell, so 3 months to sell. I picked them up in the middle of August, and they sold for full asking price $21.99. Here they are. 550 is the Relaxed Fit, which has been a good seller for me this fall. This is a size 40 by 34. And these are going out to Chuck. Where's Chuck at? Chuck's in, Wheat Ridge, Colorado. How about that? I'm going to be out in that very area pretty soon here. Taking a little Colorado trip that we just booked. 40 by 34. Going to Chuck. A little suburb of Denver is Wheat Ridge. Yeah, I had to go to pallets. So is that if I'm picking up what you're putting down, you're buying pallets now and you're selling them on Whatnot? Is that the deal? Is that what's up? The whole reason I do these lives is to just give you a good, honest glimpse into my little reselling business. Sometimes that means really busy days with a lot of sales and I'm psyched. Other days it just means like kind of a not kind of a crummy weekend of sales, a objectively crummy weekend of sales. And that's just the way it is. But hopefully each one of these lives, maybe you learn a tip or a trick or a brand or a model to look for and helps you grow your business. That's what this is all about. So if you have any questions, drop them down below in the chat. I'm just a guy who's run this business for 7 years out of the house. So I'm no different than you. I just been doing it a little longer maybe, but if you have any questions, let me know. This is nothing fancy. There's no warehouse here. I'm not ordering like big pallets of stuff. I'm going to the same thrift stores and garage sales and estate sales that you guys are. So let me know if you have any questions. It is Just trying to be as honest and transparent as possible. We've got a Bonobos going out the door. You know, for a while, I was still picking up Bonobos pants, and I have stopped picking up most Bonobos pants. If it is something unique, different, like I've picked up some corduroys lately because those seem to have a better sell-through rate, especially because it's in season right now for corduroys. So I am picking up Bonobos corduroys, but I really don't pick up these basic pants too much anymore. They just don't have the sell-through rates that they used to. These ones did sell though. Full asking price, $24.99. These are called the Weekday Warrior Pants, Bonobos. So I wouldn't go running out and buying every pair of Bonobos that you see. It's a lower sell-through rate item for sure. But if you can get a good price on them, comp them, look at the sell-through rate, look at the price. But right now, Bonobos are kind of on like my not buy everything list. Whereas there was a time where I pretty much picked up all Bonobos pants, So for me also this week, I'm sorry, Natalie, if you heard I don't know if you heard the quote that I shared from Barbara Corcoran earlier in this live, but I'll share it again for folks who are just popping in. Barbara Corcoran's one of the women that was on Shark Tank, the famous, famous real estate person. Anyway, she says, the difference between successful people and others is how long they spend time feeling sorry for themselves. So slow weekend, don't matter. No time to feel sorry for yourself. Bounce back, keep getting some work done. And honestly, like 2 days, I learned early in my career in the restaurant business that 2 slow days of sales or 2 busy days of sale is nothing to react or respond to. There's so much randomness. If you're in like retail or restaurant, there's so much randomness that you can't say like, well, why were we slow this weekend? There's really no way to figure that out. There's just too much randomness. So you got to zoom out a little further. If you've had like 2 consecutive slow weeks or 3 consecutive slow weeks, and it's, we're supposed to be in a good shopping season right now, maybe you want to evaluate some stuff and take a look, but a couple of slow days, forget it. That's nothing. This business is so random. Next up is a Polo Ralph Lauren pair of corduroys. Speaking of, these are size 40 by 27 and Polo Ralph Lauren corduroy. Let's see I don't know if you can see the corduroy kind of pattern there. Sold for a best offer of $30, $30. These took 90 days to sell, but no surprise. Pick them up in the middle of August in the summer when people aren't really buying corduroys, and they're going to sell in November when people like wearing corduroys. Wearing corduroys in the summer seems like a really bad idea. So these are going to Ralph. Crazy seasonality of the clothing reselling business. Did I sell some corduroys this summer? Sure. I'm sure I sold some corduroy pants, but not many. They definitely sell better this time of year. I live in Colorado, and if you go to ARC thrift stores on Saturdays, you get 50% off 4 color tags. Nice. That's good to know. I haven't been to one of those ARC stores. I remember that I think there's 2 of them like really close to Denver. I haven't been to those stores in a long, long time. When I lived out there, those stores I found them to be just okay. Again, I moved from Denver in 2020. That was 5 years ago. So their stores go up and down for sure. But when I was out there, like, you have limited time to thrift. ARC would be like, all right, I've been to like every other store in the area and I still want more. So I'd hit up an ARC, or if I just happen to be driving by one on the way somewhere, I'd hit up an ARC, but it wasn't one of my like kind of go-to places that I hit on a weekly routine sort of thing. But I'm sure they could be better now, and it's good to know that Saturdays is a good day for ARC. Whoop whoop. What's up, Deloy? The last comment was me on my daughter's account. Gotcha. Cool, I think. Nice quote. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. Glad you liked it. Next up is an order for Sam. Sam got this John Barbados. John Barbados is a good brand, but this one sat around for a little bit. I lowered the price on it to $17.99 and it sold for full asking price, $17.99. Short sleeve shirt, very lightweight, kind of a summertime little piece right here. Sold in. It's going to Mission Viejo, California, so maybe it's warm there. I don't know what part of California that is, but I have not been selling many short sleeve shirts in the last week or so. It has definitely been a trend of pants, jackets, sweaters, and long sleeve sort of stuff, and flannels for sure. So this is going to Sam in Mission Viejo. $17.99 on this. I paid $5 at a thrift store. Took a little while to sell. I had to do a price reduction on it to get it out the door, and it's gone. Yeah, can you grab this? Here.
Thank you.
Postal lady is here, Nicole. Hey Chris, slow weekend for me, but it will pick up again for sure. Absolutely. And you know what? If you had a busy weekend, I tell you, well, you might be due for a couple of slow days. It's the ups and downs of this business. It's retail any way you cut it. Anybody who's got a background in retail or hotels or hospitality or restaurants, right? You know that there's ups and downs. There's randomness to it. So this shirt I had for like 3 years. Champion on an older tag here. Men's size medium, just a long sleeve Champion t-shirt. I gave it a whirl, figured I could maybe sell it fairly quickly. It did not. I got $16 for it though. It sat around for a while. I've made more bad buys than maybe anybody in this chat. I don't brag about much, but I've made a lot of bad buys, and bad buys are great teachers. But guess what? Still sold, still got my money. It's not a great habit to pick up stuff that's going to take 3 years to sell. I do not recommend it, but you're going to have to go out there and make mistakes. Don't fear them. Lower your price, get the stuff out the door, and move on to the next thing. Good morning, Jay Kotz. Welcome in. Good to have you. Good to have you. Only a few items left here. I mean, it is a slow weekend for me, and that's okay. Was a great week. It's been a great month, but sometimes you got to have a couple of slow days. And actually, Saturday was great. I shipped 12 or 13 items on Saturday, but the last 2 days, not so much. Couple of more pairs of Levi's back to back coming up your way. This one's brand new with tags, 505 44 by 30. And I lowered the price on these, and these sold on a nifty best offer for $29.69. 44 by 30 black 505s. I just did a bunch of price reductions about 2 weeks ago on items that had been sitting around for a while. And it's nice to see some of that stuff going out the door. Of course, nifty with the assist, the auto offer gave the buyer 10% off. So what happened is Mark watched this item on eBay. Nifty waited 10 minutes, saw that Mark did not buy the item, so sent Mark a 10% off offer, and Mark accepted said offer, and this is out the door. So love that about Nifty. And actually, the next sale is a Nifty best offer too. I find these Levi's brand new with tags. I find them on clearance, typically between $12 and $16 is what I'll pay for them. Sometimes I find them for $20. I just don't buy them for $20. But when I can find them on clearance, $12 to $16 is usually the range that I find and buy them at. So call my average buy cost like $14 a piece on those. Good consistent seller for me. Levi's is just one of those brands that just doesn't go out. It just stays consistent. Very, very consistent brand. So next up, another pair of Levi's. These are going to Dean. Another brand new with tags. These are Levi's 513 36 by 30. Dean came in, watched this item on eBay, and then 10 minutes later, Nifty's like, well, Dean hasn't bought these full price yet. We're going to send him a 10% off offer because we don't want to lose Dan off the hook here. Dean, sorry. And Dean accepted that offer, and we're shipping it out. $31.50 on these Levi's 513 slim fit. Good afternoon, Carolyn. Welcome in. I've sold over 15 items since this buy, but I had a floral dress bag that would. I had sold over 15,000 items since this buy, but I had a floral dress bag that would 2 weeks ago. I had since 2019. I remember buying it on my second It sounds like, if I'm reading that right, it sounds like you just sold something that you had for a long time. I think I might be reading that wrong. It sounds like you got rid of some old inventory. I think that's good. I think we won. I like it. Setting up my Nifty today. What is your referral code? You can use the referral code PEAK, P-E-A-K, or you can click this direct link. So this is in response to Melissa. Melissa's making a good decision, I think. Yo, what do you think about Melissa's decision to sign up for Nifty? I just dropped down below a direct link. So Melissa, you can also just click that link and sign up for the free trial. It'll also give you 15% off your first month, or you can enter at sign up. You can enter that code there, PEAK. Either way, it's going to get you the free trial and 15% off your first month if you sign up. I think Melissa's making a good decision. But what do y'all think? I think you could definitely accomplish the 90 pair challenge. I'm close. I don't know what the exact number is, but we're through 84. We're through 84 days. Today would be the 85th day, and I think I have 80 sales. It's either 79 or 80, I think, is where I'm at. Might be 81. But yeah, I just need a couple of days of like 3 Levi's to go out the door. I actually listed 6 pairs of Levi's yesterday, and I'll list some more probably tomorrow to try to get over the hump here. So going out to Dean, the challenge has been fun. I did it for no other reason, just like, well, I bet you I can sell 90 in 90 days. We'll see what happens. And here we are. How long is a while for you? 1 year, 2 years? Like how long to have something in inventory? I don't know. I don't have like a definition. Like, I'm not sure. 100% a game changer. Adding Nifty. Nice, Sophia. Appreciate you sharing that too. Just got my first 6 items at Salvation Army over the weekend. Let's go, Melissa. Wait, so hold on 1 second, Melissa. So, Melissa, that's awesome that you found 6 things. Are you like just getting started? Like you're going to list your first 6 items on eBay? Is that the goal for this week? I am not, like, you haven't sold anything on eBay or Poshmark yet. I am not on the Nifty bandwagon. It's too high cost for me. Y'all, what do you think about Julie's comment there about too high cost? Too high cost. Julie, how many items do you have in inventory? That might help me talk with you about that. Morning from Northwest Indiana. Great Sunday with another Chicago Bears win. Nice. You know, I didn't watch really any football yesterday. Usually I watch like a little bit of a couple of games. The Dolphins were on a bye week, so there was that. But I didn't watch any football yesterday, which is, that's fine. I didn't watch any basketball over the weekend either. I watched a little bit of college football on Saturday, but that's about it. What's up, Faith? How are you? To hold on to items. Yes, just starting. Cool. So, Melissa, you do you. But I feel better if I share this. So I don't typically recommend that people get cross-listing tools and automation tools when they're listing their first items. I would suggest, Melissa, for these first several weeks and maybe even a few months, is really focus on the fundamentals. Once you start cross-listing, so say you put out, if you're anything like me, my very first listings, the photos weren't very good. They were pretty bad, to be honest with you. I didn't write good item titles. I wasn't writing great descriptions. I wasn't doing a lot of things really right. The fundamentals, I was kind of just figuring it out. I was learning, right? And that's fine. That's part of everybody's journey. And so what happens if you start cross-listing? If I started I'll use I statements. If I started cross-listing in my very first few weeks, cross-listing duplicates your listing to other platforms. So if you have if I had a mediocre listing, as I already stated I did, I had bad listings when I first started. If I cross-listed, all that's doing is taking that crappy listing and it's putting it onto Poshmark and it's putting it on Mercari, and maybe you'd want to do Depop too. To me, I'd rather you focus on the fundamentals of reselling first. Get really good with your photography, and invest, if you need to, invest money into things like photo lights. To me, first, like a light like that, I have those. I can drop a direct link. To me, the investment in getting really great photos and great listings is probably the smarter early investment than cross-listing right away. Do you see what I mean? Because you're just kind of duplicating either mediocre, maybe you're better than me, mediocre listings, but mine were bad when I first started. So that's my thought process on that. I would, I generally recommend that people get to 150 active listings and get 75 items shipped out the door on one platform. Because once you start cross-listing, you add some complexity to your business. And I think before you add complexity, I would get really good at one platform and get really good at like grid photos, good listings, figuring out like promoting on eBay and stuff like that, figuring out the shipping process and all that before kind of doing the nifty thing. Now, if you want to do nifty for the automation tools, yeah, I get that. It's a cheap subscription, $25 a month, automate your stuff on eBay. That's cool, but I still feel like it's a little early for me on that. But I had to say that, I talk about nifty and its benefits all the time, every day, because it helps me get extra sales every single day with my business. I talk about what makes it beautiful, but the bottom, I have to be honest too, it objectively adds complexity to your business by having other platforms and having to learn how to ship on those other platforms and the returns and the ins and outs. To me, start with one platform, get really good at it, get 150 items listed, get 75 sales shipped out the door, then cross-listing, but really focus on, your photos and your listing quality and describing your items really well and measurements. And that's just my thought. I have to say it. Nifty pays for itself for me. I definitely recommend wait until you have at least 150 to 200 because you'll definitely start selling. Now there's some people, and I know there's some people in this room that have less than 150 to 200 listings and they have Nifty and they still recommend it. I get that. I'm just trying to, talking to like a broad group of people, you try to make like, all right, like you got to pick a number. 150 listings sounds about right. 75 sales at the door sounds about right. But for you, maybe it makes sense after you get 25 sales. You feel comfortable, you're ready to invest. I get it. But you asking for a general recommendation, yeah, 150 listed, 75 sold and out the door. That's what I'll say. I agree with not cross-listing until you get good at one. Yeah. I just don't want you, Melissa, to get caught up in the complexities, because now you're going to be learning a bunch of platforms all at once. I'd rather you kind of get really clear-eyed about one platform. And then once you get your photos dialed, your descriptions are really good, you're getting good at shipping on eBay or Poshmark, whatever platform you choose to start with. Cool. Then invest in Nifty and ride that wave and all that. So that's just my 2 cents. Any tips for starting on Amazon? Not really. It's a difficult, Amazon's a different beast. It's difficult. The advice and information and the people that you'll talk to about Amazon are just different. People who are really good at Amazon probably aren't really good at eBay and Poshmark too. So I don't really offer a lot of advice on Amazon because I haven't been selling on there for very long and I don't have very many sales. I don't feel like I'm an Amazon guru. So I don't really have much to offer in that sense. What did I miss here? Agree, choose eBay. Kelly's saying, Melissa, get started on eBay. $110 each on those. What did I miss here? Had a banger weekend. Sold a Ted Baker suit and a Pendleton blanket, each within 4 hours. $110 each on those. That's great, Deborah. I love that. Wasn't go to thrift till I worked on my death pile, but ran into Goodwill yesterday and picked up CC Filson shirts. 3 Nails joggers. I don't think I know the 3 Nails brand. That's interesting. I'll have to look that one up. Cool. And Public Rec joggers. Nice finds, Faith. I love that. I love when you get rewarded for just that little extra hustle. Too high cost is subjective. The highest plan, which not a lot of people need, costs me $3 a day. I get a lot more value out of it per day. I'm glad that you broke this down, like the Nifty cost to dollars per day. I was actually thinking about this yesterday. And so I have the $70 a month plan. So that's just over $2 a day. And if you've ever considered hiring somebody for your business, guess what? You hire somebody, they're going to cost more than $2 a day. They're going to cost more than $2 an hour. In fact, that person's probably going to cost more than $2 for 20 minutes, right? I mean, if you're going to pay somebody $20 an hour, what does that break down to? 20 divided by 60 minutes. I mean, that person's making 33 cents a minute. So all they're going to have to do, all right, let's do some really quick math here because this is interesting to me. So $70 a month is what I pay for. $69.99, $70 is what I pay for my Nifty. If I divide that by 30 days, that's $2.33 a day is what I'm paying for my Nifty subscription. Now, I already sold and shipped out just today. I shipped out 2 items that were on Nifty best offers right there. So the extra profits for those items definitely exceeds $2.33. But let's just say, like, what if I needed help and I wanted to hire somebody like part-time to work for my business? At $2.33, that would be 7 minutes worth of work for somebody that I was paying $20 an hour. So say I had somebody come over for 3 hours once a week to help me with photoing or listing or something, right? At $20 an hour, they're going to work 7 minutes that day. And that's how much, like my whole Nifty subscription is for that day. So to have this like Nifty in the background, sending these offers, sharing on constant, over 4,000 times a day on Poshmark, ending and relisting, 30, 40, 50 items a day on eBay. I mean, all that, like feeding the algorithm and stuff. And just the fact that I use the AI tools to helps me list a lot faster. The AI generation allows me to not have to write the item title. Nifty does it. I don't have to write the description. Nifty does it. So that time saver. I mean, come on, $2.33 a day. That's literally paying somebody for 7 minutes of work per day. 7 minutes of work if they were working at a $20 an hour rate. So I'm glad that you broke that down. The idea of like $3 a day, $2.30 a day. Selling a John Darien stuffed turkey today for $20 on Marketplace. Gobble gobble, paid $2.50. John Darien stuffed turkey. I don't know what that is, Carolyn. I don't know. Should I know that name? John Darien? Is that a brand name? Is that a person? But that's cool. I like it. Breach. Morning from sunny desert, 5365. What's up, Nick Smith? How are you? Amazon, you get approved on most items. Nice. Great advice, says Sean. I occasionally have some decent ideas. Occasionally. So all that talk about Nifty. Look, if you want to check it out for your business, and it's like, this is a no risk trial. Try it for 7 days. See how it impacts your sales. I'm going to drop the link again right there. If you sign up with that link, you'll get a free 7-day trial. And after that 7-day trial, if you decide that you want to sign up, again, there's no commitment by doing that trial. But if you decide, you'll get 15% off that first month. All you got to do is click that link right there and get started with your trial. If you have any questions about Nifty specifically, let me know. I've been using it for 19 months now for my business, and is when I switched from another cross-listing tool. I actually had a cross-lister and I had an automation tool, 2 separate subscriptions. They didn't talk to each other. Neither one of them were as good as what Nifty does. Nifty's great because it has all wrapped into one thing. It's a cross-lister, it's automation tools, and it's AI listing. Those are 3 different subscriptions for a lot of other platforms. It's all one subscription, one login, and it just works the way you would want it to. So yeah, and I've used other cross-listers. I've used a couple of them for a long, long time, and I've used other automation tools. There's just nothing on the market that's even close to Nifty right now. It's just not even, they're the best by a long shot. I deal primarily in hard goods and started buying clothes over COVID. Nice, Carolyn. This is not to brag. It's because I've been in that spot where investing in your business is scary. I've sold 35,000 on Mercari, Posh, and Depop. I also used to spend 1 hour per week. I think did it get cut off? Doing manual accounting and spreadsheet. The Nifty, that's a good point. I don't talk about the Nifty accounting as much as I should. But listen, Rin knows what he's talking about here. He's basically what he's saying. He's like, look, I'm not bragging. I've just been doing this a long time. I got a lot of sales, and Nifty's just been really, really helpful. But what I love about Nifty too is it's not just for big sellers like Rin. It's really great for you part-timers too, because it saves you so much time. It automates things that you don't have to spend time doing every day, which is huge. So I think it's great for the smaller sellers too. YouTube never gave me the notification. I'm sorry, Swiss, but you're here. And remember, all these lives you can watch on replay as well. So as soon as this live is over, if you missed something, if you're just walking in, you've been busy, you can watch the replay on Facebook and YouTube. You can fast forward through my boring rambling stuff. You can rewind to the cool sales that you wanted me to, that you missed or whatever. But it's always fun to have you live though too. I appreciate you being here, Swiss. Saturday was not great, but yesterday was a 7 sale day. Nice. I like it. Me, I was better. Like Friday, Saturday was better. Like Saturday into Sunday was not good for me, but the ups and downs of business. Can you add your cost of goods into Nifty? You can, Faith. Absolutely. Yep. I can show you. Well, like get too deep down the rabbit hole, but let's go ahead and do one quick thing. So I don't really talk about the analytics too much, but I'll give you an idea. Yeah, okay. Let me share my screen right here. Just going to give you like a 1 minute glimpse into these nifty analytics. So these are you can see right here, this is my sales. And at the top, this is actually the jacket that we're about to ship out, this Joseph A. Banks right here. So you can see the number of days listed for quick sale, by the way, is a navy blue blazer with gold buttons. So listed for 4 days, it shows me my SKU. It shows the sale price, shipping that I collected. It shows my fees. So this is pulling the fees right from eBay. It pulls that $6.03, and it's showing me my total profit. Now, I didn't enter in my cost of goods, but see that right here? You can enter your cost of goods in right there. I just don't do it. I don't cost items individually. I cost them by month of like how much I spent, but there's different ways to do it. But yeah, you can put that cost of goods in there when you're doing your listing, and then it would subtract right there. And that shipping label should, let me see what happened with that. That shipping label should show up as because I bought my label through eBay. So I think that maybe it just hasn't updated yet because I just printed out my labels, but that'll show the shipping price too, like my shipping expense. So it's all right there, and it will show me my total profits at the edge. So that's all built into it. And you can see here's Poshmark orders. Here's that Frank Sinatra album. And you can scroll down. Here's another Poshmark order. So it all just like loads right into here and keeps track of all your stuff. So pretty cool. And you can also get into like insights. It can show you, right, here's the sales. You can see the dip that I had the last couple of days, right? But you can see I did really good last week. I had a great month and a great week. But look at that dip right there. You can see which platforms I'm selling the most on. It's basically 10 to 4, eBay to Poshmark and Mercari, $281 over the last 4 weeks. So you can get some great numbers. You can see what's selling the most. It's just pretty cool. I don't dig into it too much. I don't show it to you too often. But there are some really neat tools here. Look at that profit and loss statement. This isn't going to be accurate because I don't put in my cost of goods to Nifty, but you could look like this is it. Like you could look at your actual profit and loss statements, and you can customize this for 4 weeks. You can look at the whole year. You can look at the month. Pretty rad. So that's all built into your subscription too, which a lot of people pay. I used to pay for GoDaddy accounting, which did the same thing. It would go into my eBay and go into my Poshmark, and it would pull like fees and shipping costs and sales and all that stuff. So that was a separate subscription. They killed that product. They ended it. But so this is like another thing that I should talk about a little bit more in terms of in terms of like that could be a whole nother like $9 a month thing that you could get a subscription for. So how's the Levi's challenge, Nick? I think I'm either at somewhere between 79 and 81, and we're through 85 days. So I'm like a couple behind. I need to have like a really strong Thanksgiving week here. So we'll see what happens. We need to close the month really strong, but I'm pretty close. I had a good week of Levi's sales last week. I shipped out 3 today, so that helps. But I think I have to double check my account. I think of the physicality, click import, and then the shipping expenses will show. It'll also account for your returns and refunds. Gotcha. Cool. Good to know. Nifty has been a game changer for my small part-time reselling business. I consider it to be the cost of 2 items as I try to have an ASP of 30 to 35. There you go. Yeah, I like that. You got this. Thanks, Nick. Nick sells. Nick, how many have you sold in the last 90 days, Nick? I think you sell a lot more Levi's than I do. My last Nifty shill is, for whatever reason, Posh and Depop are centered around offers and automation. They don't perform well without those tools in my experience. When I first started cross-listing to Poshmark with one of the other leading cross-listing tools years ago, this was 2001 when I first started cross-listing to Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, Grailed, and Depop. But Poshmark was terrible. I did it for it was like 6 weeks, and I was like, I can't sell crap on Poshmark. What is going on? And then, I talked to some people, and they're like, you need to have automation. You need to have a bot for for Poshmark, or you're not going to get any sales. So I bought a separate subscription that was doing the sharing and the delisting and relisting for me constantly. And, sales started picking up, but it was like 3 weeks or like 4 weeks down the road after that bot had just been sharing and delisting and relisting for 3 or 4 weeks, my sales just started going crazy. Like it was something stupid. Like I 4x'd my Poshmark sales just from getting a bot. I didn't do anything differently. I didn't like have more listings. I didn't cross list more over. It was just the bot, it was all that activity. It was huge for Poshmark. And I haven't sold on Depop in years, but it sounds like Rin's saying that is true for Depop also. Huge difference. Now I don't see the volume you do, but I have some good pairs that have sold for good money. Yeah. And Nick, you saw that good pair Nick is my Levi's guru. If I'm not, you guys think I'm smart about Levi's. I am not. Nick is that guy. So when I find something, I'm like, ooh, I don't know how to date this one. I send it over to Nick, and Nick was always like, I got that date for you. I found a pair of 1982 Levi's the other day and texted that over to Nick, and he was the one who let me know that they were 82, which I think is the oldest pair of Levi's I've ever found. I don't think I've ever found anything older than that in all these years. I use Flipwise for tracking inventory. I use Nifty for cross listing and automated offers. Nice. I'm not familiar with the Flipwise thing, but that's cool. Thank you for sharing. Yes, the pair you found was sweet. Thank you. And they were in really sweet, like they were in such good condition, which is crazy. I have no idea how to price those. I haven't listed those yet. So I got to do my price research on that. Do you recommend a different bank account for just reselling business, or start out with using your personal account? So Melissa, as you're just getting started, I'm a big fan of just kind of like keeping things simple. The best advice I ever got from somebody, his name was Chris Philippousis. He gave me a lot of like really good knowledge nuggets, but he said, don't worry about taxes and bank accounts and Nifty and all this stuff. He's like, just get people to give, and Nifty didn't exist at this time, but he was like, don't worry about you're worrying about all these barriers and, obstacles. He's like, focus on getting people to give you money. He's like, focus on that first and then worry about all these other things later on. Do I think it's easier to have a separate business bank account? Yeah, I do think it's easier. Absolutely. I would suggest that. Makes things easier. But don't put all these obstacles in front of you. Well, I'll start listing once I get the new bank account. Look, you just got to get listed. You got those 6 items. You did great. You went to the thrift store. You brought home 6. Get those things listed. And then kind of worry about some of these things down the road. I'm not saying don't pay your taxes. I'm not saying not be organized, but you don't have a tax problem until you start getting people to give you money. So go get people to give you money for stuff, and then worry about some of that other stuff down the road. Get that thing listed, Melissa. You could have had 2 listings up while we're live right here. I'm just giving you a hard time, but that's my thought process. Get people to give you money for things or stuff or services, whatever your business is. Worry about all the other stuff later. How do you price shipping? I'm in California and it's expensive to ship to the East Coast. So I'm on the East Coast and it's expensive to ship to California. So it's kind of the same. I think the calculated shipping is very negatively affecting my sales. I do shirts and lightweight items, $6.95. I do jeans, sweaters, lightweight jackets, $8.95. Heavy jackets, blazers, $9.95. Suits, $12.95. There you go. Flat rate pricing. Now, when something goes to California, sometimes I lose $1 on shipping. But if it goes to South Carolina, I'm going to gain $1 on, I'm going to earn an extra $1 on shipping. So to me, it all comes out in the wash when you have volume. Yeah, I'm going to remind people too. I know we haven't talked about it in a little bit. People are coming and going. If you want 2 things, I put together a nice list of Amazon deals that are right off my recommended reselling supplies. There just happens to be some great deals of some of my favorite tools that are like on Black Friday deals right now. So what I did was I put together a document with all the links showing you exactly those items. So if you want that list, all you have to type down below in the chat is the good stuff. This won't work on YouTube, but if you type the good stuff, I'm going to send you to your inbox, to your DMs, that list of recommended reselling supplies. Some of my favorite stuff is on sale right now. Black Friday deal, including my lights. I think the lights are 25% off, my photo lights. My printer, I believe, is 37% off, and some other stuff too, just some normal things like tape and tape dispensers. This is on Black Friday. The dispenser, the tape I buy is on Black Friday deal. So If you want that, just type the good stuff down below. I'm also going to send you a direct link to my coffee website. And right now we're running 10% off coffee through Wednesday night. Just doing a little like thank you. Thanksgiving is about gratitude. 10% off coffee and merch just until Wednesday. And that discount code is going to be in that message too. The discount code is, I'm going to drop it here to my coffee website. But this is the discount code for 10% off. Just enter this at checkout at chris@peak.com and you will get that 10% off. We already had some people take advantage of that offer today. I appreciate that. I love shipping coffee to you. If you have questions about the coffee, it's right here, or you can go to the website and you can read all about it. I've had 2 coffees today, and you can actually, here's my empty mug. The cold brew, we had the Black Mountain Dark Roast is a cold brew. I actually got to make another batch of cold brew today. I'm going to check one thing real quick here. Thanks everyone for being here, sharing a little bit of time. I got one more item to ship out here. And it's a good sale. Fast sale. Good morning, Constanza Shop. How are you? How have we been? How are sales? I've been doing the bins Monday. Now have a huge pile. Hold on, let me read that one more time. I'm multitasking here. I've been going to the bins Monday mornings. Now have a huge pile. Taking pics now. Cool. I like it. Getting some work done. Looking forward to trying your coffee. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that. And I'm trying one thing here. Multitasking. I got a coffee order from my friend Travis. Thank you, Travis. Travis took advantage of the 10% off deal. Travis, I'm going to ship your coffee though tomorrow. I'm actually getting a fresh batch of coffee tomorrow. So Travis, I can't ship it out during the live. I'd love to, but I sold my last whole bean on Saturday, and that's okay. We try to run out of coffee every week. That's good. It keeps it fresh. So we get it fresh roasted every week. I'm going to get a new batch tomorrow, and Travis, I'll ship out your whole bean medium roast tomorrow. Thank you, brother. Repeat customer in Travis, one of my best coffee customers. Would you recommend for someone trying out, if even been selling, which plan would you recommend for someone trying out, even if we have been selling for 5 years? Are you asking about Nifty, Samuel? And if so, even if we have been selling for 5 years, I don't know that the time, like 5 years, I don't know if that factors into my math. I would recommend a plan that has both automation and cross listing, but I don't really know anything about your business. I don't know what you sell, how many items you have listed, what platforms you sell on. But generally speaking, if you're asking for general advice, I would recommend getting both the automation and the cross listing. Cross listing is great, but the automation plus cross listing is crazy. It's just going to supercharge your business. But again, I don't really know anything about your business. It's hard for me to recommend a specific plan, but I hope that helps. And you can learn more about like the different plans and all that right here. Give me 1 second. It's a big, long freaking link, but hopefully this works. Look how long that link is. I think that'll work. I don't know. But that's the pricing right there. And if you enter code PEAK, you'll get a free trial and you'll get 15% off your first month if you enter that code at checkout, or you can just go to this link right here and it takes care of all that stuff. But that's the direct link to the pricing right there. There's a direct link if you want to sign up for the free trial and get your 15% off your first month. Let's ship this last item out. And if somebody does get a coffee order in, just let me know. Sometimes I don't get the notifications, but let me know and I'll ship it out right here on the live for you. I love that. It's a lot of fun. Our last eBay order, again, a slow weekend for me. A slow last 2 days. Saturday was awesome, but Saturday since noon sucked. Friday and Saturday were great, but you're not going to be able to see much here. But this is a Joseph A. Banks. It's a navy blue blazer with gold buttons, like that classic sort of, country club or fraternity kind of blazer. Those sell really fast for me. This one sold in 4 days. 4 days. Quick sale. I freaking love that. $36. This was on a best offer. I think I had it listed for $42. I got a quick $36 offer this morning. Sure, let's go. I paid $7 for this blazer at a thrift store. 4 days, I'll take it. Profit before I've paid the credit card bill. The credit card bill for that jacket isn't even due until December the 15th. And I'm already going to have my profits from the sale. Beautiful thing. Best $35 a month for your business. I started with the automation first just to test. My first 30-day sales were up to 247. Is that a typo? Heidi, that's crazy. That's crazy. 247% just from the automation. That's amazing. Heidi, what platform are you selling on that the automation supercharged you that much? Were you on one platform? Were you on multiple platforms? Tell me more. 247 is nuts. The stuff that I do, the lengths I go just to get like a little 5% boost in my business or a 10% or even a 3% boost in business, the stuff that I would do for that 3% boost, and you got a 247% boost. That's insane. I started with just one item and reinvested all my profits back into my reselling business. Now, a month and a half later, I'm already at 70 items. Is that considered good? I've been putting everything back into the business. That sounds great to me. Remember, you're not competing with anybody but yourself, right? So if that's working for you, if you feel good about it and you're happy with that pace, then you're doing great. It sounds great objectively. It sounds like you're doing a really good job. But remember, you're not competing with anyone else. You're competing with your yesterday's version of yourself. Can you be 1% better today than yesterday? Can your business be 1% better than last week? That's all you're competing with. Don't worry about what I think. But if you want to know what I think you're doing great. But just keep getting better. Keep learning every day. I like it. You were on eBay and Poshmark and saw 247% increase. My goodness gracious. Nice sale here out the door. Slow weekend. Got 3 Levi's on the board, and I got that nice Joseph A. Bank sale. We had some other good sales too. And I got rid of some really old inventory, which makes me happy. Thanks everybody for hanging out today. If you have any final questions or comments, let me know. Just a quick reminder that all these lives are available as a replay. So as soon as I sign off from this live, you can watch the replay. Some of you are just walking in the door now and you're like, hey, what did that guy sell? Well, you can rewatch it. And if you are watching on the replay, just let me know, SHIP, SHIP, so I know that you're watching on replay too. If you have any questions or comments while you're watching the replay, I will answer those questions and comments too. I try my best to get back to all that stuff. You're welcome, Miss Smile. I think you're doing great. But I do appreciate y'all spending a little bit of time with me today. It is Thanksgiving week, so sending some positive Thanksgiving vibes to your family. Hope you get some time I hope you get a chance to spend some time with some people you care about, whether that's family or friends. I hope you get some fellowship. Hope you get some good food. I hope your football team wins, but I hope you have a great week of sales, of course, too. Remember, this is crazy. We're 30 days from Christmas Eve, 31 days from Christmas, right? So, and for me, there's a big cut. I always see a huge dip in sales right around the 17th or the 18th of December. So really what we're looking at now is about 3 more weeks of true Q4, right? Of like that, the busy season. So if you're going to hustle at all, to me, it's like put in the hustle right now because you're going to get better results for that. Because we have like 3 weeks of really, really strong sales. January is typically pretty good for me. February sucks, but you're going to see like a really good 3 week. Like now is the time to put in some of that work, get that stuff listed, price things aggressively and get it to move because you will see a pretty big downturn. Probably if your store is anything like mine, every year, this will be my 8th holiday season. I expect that it will be the 8th time that I see a huge dip, starting on the 17th or 18th where I'm like flying high and then it dips. So if you're going to put in some hustle, put it in now, you'll get a better return for it. And especially get that cold weather stuff up because cold weather buying season is going to end a lot quicker than you think. Like really late January, I start to see jackets and heavy sweaters start to slow down. February, everything's typically slow for me. And then March is when the short sleeves and the shorts start picking up again. So remember, people are buying for the next season or they're buying very early in the season for that season. So right now we're in late fall, heading into winter here pretty soon. That's when people are buying winter stuff. Once you kind of get into winter, you're part of the way through, people already got their cold weather stuff. They're not looking for more of it. And then they're already starting to think about, well, when's that spring thaw going to come? So get that stuff listed. You got 3 weeks before that slowdown for Christmas. I think the published cutoff date for USPS priority shipping to get there on time for Christmas is the 18th, I believe. So we're 3 weeks away from that day. And that's usually when I see things slow down. I wasn't doing any sharing or anything before though. Yeah. I mean, to me, all that time that you would spend sharing and doing all that stuff, if you're paying $2.33 a day for Nifty, like that's 7 minutes of your time if you're paying yourself $20 an hour. So it's worth paying. I'd rather pay Nifty $2.33 a day than try to find help for 7 minutes a day at $2.33. Like that's a $20 an hour rate. So for 7 minutes. Anyway, wishing everybody an awesome Thanksgiving. I have enjoyed spending some time with you today. I appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time. Peace.